Donner, thanks for coming and talking to me about all things healthy eating related.
Sure,
And I know for you, eating healthy is important.
it is.
And so tell me about what healthy eating means to you. Are there things that you concentrate on? Tell me about your diet.
Um, I mean, first and foremost, enriched grains are something that I don't do. So white bread, white rice. I stick with whole grains and brown rice. Deep fried is definitely out of the question for
Okay.
the most part. And then pork and beef. That's kind of diet like health conscious, but also just I don't prefer pork and beef. So
I see, okay. So you would eat fish, for example? Okay. So you're kind of a
half pescatarian ish.
pescatarian-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you eat eggs?
I do eat eggs. I eat eggs every day.
Okay.
But I gotta eat high quality eggs. So there's a difference between a high quality egg and a low quality egg.
Okay, what is the difference?
The color of the yolk.
Oh, okay. And which is which? Or?
Well, the darker color tends to have more nutrients in it.
I see.
And then if you get like the 99-cent eggs, they're not as nutrient dense
I see, okay.
as some of the the organic or the farm raised or pasture raised eggs.
Now, I have heard that people sometimes eat, like you can go to restaurants, you can get just like egg whites, like egg white omelets. Some people don't eat the yolks. Is it because they have too much cholesterol?
They have cholesterol, and that's where the fat is too, but that's also where all the nutrients are.
I see. Okay, so for you, yolk, no problem.
Correct.
Okay, but you're not eating French fries, you're not eating hush puppies.
If I eat French
Hamburgers.
fries, it's like a sweet potato fry
I see, okay.
because it actually have some nutritional value.
Uh-huh.
And you can bake those, so I bake them. But if I'm out and I'm getting fries, I would get sweet potato fries before I would get regular fries.
Uh-huh. Sweet potatoes are healthier than
100%. I mean,
Okay.
potatoes are just starch. It's just empty calories.
Uh-huh.
Sweet potatoes have some nutritional value.
Uh-huh. Okay. And have you seen your food interests? I mean, it sounds like you're informed, so this is something you've learned about over time.
To an extent, yeah.
Okay. So it's growing and changing. You haven't always been a pescatarian.
It is growing and changing. I mean, I think that the diet that I'm on now has, by and large, been the same over the past, I don't know, 8 years.
Okay.
There was a year in there that I was, mostly vegetarian. There was a year in there that I was mostly vegan. I ended up losing a lot of weight on both of those diets, so I was like, just throw some more salmon back in there.
Okay. Not enough protein, or what was the?
I think so, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, and just not enough calories. It's hard to get enough calories by eating fruits and vegetables all day.
I see. Yeah.
So,
And so, how much would you eat throughout the day, or how frequently would you eat?
well, how frequently do I eat or should I eat?
Well, both. Do you, and would you like to?
Recently, it's like twice a day. Sometimes I'll throw a snack in there in the middle, but that's because I'm out and about all day. And I just haven't done a good job of food prepping.
Okay.
Realistically, like 4 times a day is what I would like to eat, like 4 meals.
Okay. And is a caloric mix part of that, or not so much? Just 4 times, or you're looking for
Not really, no. I mean, I would like to gain weight.
Okay.
So realistically, 3,500 calories a day would be great.
okay,
I don't get that most days
because you're working out too, right?
because I work out as well.
Okay. And what would be a typical workout kind of regimen for you? How frequently, or how long? Or
Well, I do CrossFit, so it's usually about an hour. At least I'm in there for an hour. I don't know. I'm in there 4 times a week,
okay,
3 to 5 times a week.
3 to 5 times a week for about an hour. Okay. So you burn off a lot of calories too.
Well,
So.
yeah, and I'm also in the field when I'm with clients. I'm going on hikes. I'm going to the gym with them as well. I'm playing basketball with them. So, those are just the calories are racking up that way, or the expenditures racking up that way, and I don't even think about it at that point, right? Because
Right.
that's just work.
Yeah, it's not a desk job.
Correct.
You're moving continuously at work.
Right.
Okay. So if I were to put in front of you a nice, juicy, medium rare ribeye steak, interesting, not interesting?
Cows are my favorite animal,
Cow's your favorite
so
animal.
it's
Okay.
extremely not interesting.
Okay. So how about a juicy haunch of pork?
Also not interesting.
Second favorite animal?
I don't know.
No.
Pork has never I've never really liked pork. Pork. If I would eat pork, it would be bacon.
I see.
But like a pork chop has never been that delightful, anyways.
Okay.
So I'm not missing anything there.
Okay, so bacon is the only thing it feels like you're.
Right, and I eat turkey bacon, which is a close fifth
Okay.
to bacon.
Okay, so you would eat turkey.
I do eat some turkey.
Oh,
I don't like to cook it.
okay,
If I do, it's ground.
okay,
I don't like the flesh. I
okay,
don't like to think that I'm eating flesh unless it's like of a fish.
okay, okay. So fish flesh is
Fish
okay.
flesh is okay, or
Okay.
crustacean flesh is okay.
Okay, like shrimp or lobster.
I'm not a big lobster guy. Nothing
Okay.
wrong with it. Just don't like it.
Okay.
Crab's good.
Okay. And how about an oyster?
Oyster, that's a texture thing, man.
Okay, now we're in a different category.
You know, it's a great aphrodisiac, but a terrible texture.
Okay. So there, popcorn. Would you go to a movie theater and get a bag of popcorn?
Movie theater popcorn's terrible.
Okay.
I mean, in general. No, I don't. I mean, I don't really like popcorn. If I do, I like doing it on the stove.
Uh-huh.
You know, old-fashioned way, putting some salt and pepper on it.
Okay.
But
How about going to Zaxby's and getting the nuclear?
oh my
chicken
god,
tender?
oh my god, I love Zaxby's.
I got a weakness there, huh?
I know, and the place that I live in, Indy, now there's a Zaxby's. There's only two Zaxby's in Indiana, and both of them were within about 5 miles of the house.
Designed to taunt you.
Absolutely.
To taunt you.
And I've done fairly well. I haven't had it in probably 8 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
When you drive by, do you feel yourself tremor a little bit? Just kind of like the wheel goes.
I do. Yeah. It's kind of this existential, feeling washes over my body. I can smell it. I can feel it. I can taste it.
Are there things that you, other than that, are there things that you miss in not eating?
Well, I mean, if I really want to eat anything, I'll eat it.
Okay.
Like sugar is my weakness.
Okay.
Try not to eat sugar, but Oreos are perhaps my favorite food group.
Oreos?
Yeah.
That's your favorite food group?
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
Yeah, whoa.
So sweets are a struggle, but I don't eat as much as I used to. I eat a lot of berries to kind of like supplement my sweet tooth.
Okay, yeah. It's a healthy alternative.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's an expensive alternative when you're spending like $7 a day on berries,
Yeah.
but it's delicious.
Cheaper than diabetes, as it turns out.
It's just
And,
it's true in the long term.
In the long term, yeah. It's invest now, invest later. So, when you think about where you're at with what you eat and your frequency of eating, just your overall eating, compared to what you would ideally like to do in terms of frequency and how good is that match, or how big is the gap between those? The ideal and the reality of your eating.
I mean, the ideal is just more frequently.
I see.
Because often I don't get to eat at night until like 8 or 9 o'clock. So eating something that's super calorie dense at 8 or 9 o'clock is not like the healthiest things to do.
Right.
To gorge myself before I go to sleep for 6 or 8 hours, it's not great. So I need to get back into bringing more things with me when I work, or just stopping at Publix and getting things.
So you've got something to snack on in between times or to
Yeah, because it gets old eating like trail mix every day and a bag of tuna.
Right.
So I would bring pasta salad with me for the longest time. I also now have an office that I have a refrigerator in, so I need to make use of that, in a microwave. So it's a lot different than being in the car and just having the tuna.
That's a big difference. Sure. Yeah. No, eating with the tin out of the tin or something. Or
It's not in a tin; it's in a pouch.
oh, I think.
So it's a little bit handier than the tin.
Oh, that is good. Yeah.
Yeah. However, whenever I don't have the fork, I have to resort to like the back of the Carmex.
Okay. Right.
Or the pinky finger.
Any port in a storm, right?
Right.
So, okay, so interesting. If you look at your eating and you were compared to your friends, how would you see your eating compared to?
Oh, much better.
Much better.
Yeah.
Oh, what do they do?
Well, I mean, kind of whatever. Like, I have a friend, Sebastian, who's pretty healthy. He's in the gym twice a day almost. More frequently than I am. His workouts aren't as intense. But he eats almost no carbs. He eats like almost no dinner. He's very he's very picky about everything. No, even if it's whole wheat, won't eat whole wheat.
Huh.
Won't eat rice. Doesn't eat pasta.
Huh.
doesn't eat much for breakfast, doesn't eat much for dinner, loads up in the middle of the day at lunch. I don't think that that's the healthiest regiment, but that's what he does.
He's done that by design or by default? Does he want to be doing
Doing
that?
it by design.
Huh. He sees that as a healthy way of eating.
He sees it as a healthy way of eating. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think what he's doing is it's not bad,
Right.
but I think that he's missing out. Like, you have to have carbs. There's a huge misconception that you are not supposed to have carbs. But carbs are like very nutrient dense and they have very calorie dense, right? That's what gives you long lasting energy, especially, the whole grain carbs, because they break down slower in your system. They last throughout the day. So if you don't have those, you don't have that long, like the slow release energy that you
see.
need to get through the day.
So you're consuming your calories in your...
Correct. And people think that, you got to cut down on carbs. Really, you need to cut down on the refined sugar, which is a carb, and the enriched flours, which are white carbs, because those are fast digesting, and then those turn into fat much quicker than a slow digesting carb would.
And then how about all the other people? Because it sounds like Sebastian is very food conscious. It's just that his profile of eating, the frequency and the types are different than yours. Do you know just like fast food junkies?
No.
No.
I mean, some of the clients that I work with, yes.
Okay.
But none of my friends are fast food junkies.
Okay. They're pretty dietarily conscious, aware of what they're eating.
Well, or just prefer to eat nicer foods.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher quality.
Higher quality foods.
Looking for whole foods.
Right, and
higher quality foods.
Yeah. And you can go out to a 4 or 5 star restaurant and get a healthy meal, but you can also get a really, really unhealthy meal at that same restaurant.
Sure.
That is still, kind of, it's higher quality perhaps than going to Taco Bell.
Right.
Right, but it's still not necessarily a healthy thing.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could see that. There's no relationship between how much you pay for something and how healthy it is.
Correct.
You can get an inexpensive healthy meal or a really expensive unhealthy one. And so what is, if you were to do tweaks or changes in your diet, one of them would be to work in another meal. Anything else that you would change if you had your druthers?
Well, yeah, I mean, the sugar can be a problem sometimes. But it ebbs and flows. One week I'll buy a thing of ice cream and I'll eat that throughout the week. The next, 3 weeks I won't have that. So, it's up and down. And in all reality, like, I'm trying to gain weight. So having a little extra, fat or sugar from ice cream or Oreos, like, isn't the end of the day for me at this point. But I know that it's not one of the healthier choices that I make throughout my week.
Okay. Okay, yeah. And how about any supplements? Do you use any supplements?
Well, I make a protein shake after I work out, usually if I have time. That's the other problem is I haven't, typically whenever I would go to the gym, I would come home to make the shake. But of late, I haven't been going home after the gym. I'm going straight to work. So I haven't had that.
I see.
And when I do take that, it's a weight gainer protein. It's just it's a pea protein, but it has no fillers. It's literally just pea isolate.
Okay.
But it has about 700 calories in it.
Okay.
So without that, that's a substantial part of my caloric intake.
Well,
missing.
that's the equivalent of about a pound per week, isn't it? If you had 7 times 7, you're like about 4,900 calories a week less than you would ordinarily have.
Or than I would like.
Than you would like. Okay,
Yeah.
so I could see how you might lose weight. And anything else like power bars or any other supplements that you take or
Not religiously. I mean, I will. And that's probably something that I need to be purchasing more of, just because they're easy to take with me. But no, I don't typically have those in the pantry.
Okay. If you were to advise anybody your age in relation to food that you see as common unhealthy eating kinds of behaviors, any suggestions or recommendations about what people should be more mindful of or aware of, either eating or not eating?
I mean, I think that obviously the high fructose corn syrup stuff is in everything now. and there's so many people. Like soda is one of the most dangerous things in my mind, right? Even even the ones that don't have sugar in them, the Coca-Cola Zero, right? And people don't think of that, but that's empty calories and empty sugar. There's no nutritional value in that at all, right? And it's liquid, so you can drink those all day, And I had a colleague back at IU. We went out to a faculty dinner one night, and he admitted to us all that he drinks like 5 or 6 Cokes a day.
Wow.
Which to me was like, how are you alive? And he's my age, he's 30, 32.
Huh.
So that to me, people don't think about those things. They think about solid foods as being unhealthy or healthy. They don't think about, drinking water is, so much more beneficial to you than having, a soda or even, orange juice or grapefruit juice, which often has, if it doesn't have added sugar, it still has an abundance of sugar in there, right?
Sure.
And even things like Powerade and Gatorade, people think that those are healthy sports drinks, which isn't necessarily true. If you go through a vigorous workout and you need some sugars, to spike your insulin, then fabulous. But it's not like something that should be drinking throughout the day for pleasure necessarily.
Interesting. So a big part of it is mindfulness, is being aware of what it is that
Of course
you're
it is.
consuming,
Right.
and being thoughtful and being aware and knowing what you're consuming and what you're not consuming.
And looking at the nutrient label. Like people don't look at the nutrition facts. And you don't really have to know much about eating healthy to look at the back and compare, product A to product B and say, this has 10 times as much fat as this one, or this one has twice as much sugar as this one. Like you don't have to know much about it. You have to know that sugar is not good, fat's not good. Try to choose the one, the lesser of the two evils, right?
Okay, yeah. Read the labels, be mindful, be aware, make judicious decisions.
Correct.
And make informed decisions.
All the above.
And don't just eat mindlessly.
No mindless eating.
Okay, good. Well, I appreciate you taking the time and talking to me and raising our awareness about the things we eat. So thank you.
Absolutely.